So who would like mentors comment first?
I'll start if you want.
Thank you.
I talk too much, probably is the first thing I've realised. I know I talk too much anyway, but when it's something I'm really passionate about, I tend to talk a lot. But it's very interesting to hear everybody's backgrounds and all the different areas they've come from. It is a minefield of learning, and I think this shared experience is fantastic, especially for mentees. I would have loved to have had it 15, 20 years ago. There's so many things that you will find challenging on the journey that you're not even aware of until you hit it. And to know that someone else has faced those challenges and that they're coming at you is really valuable. Also, I would say the best advice is to get a really good mentor as early as you can. And quite often mentors will do work for very little money because they may be interested in what you're doing or just want to help you. They just might want to keep an eye on what you're doing over a period of time. So ideally someone from a similar sector who's tried to do something similar and had successes. Obviously they need to be successful at what you're trying to do. But yeah, I'm waffling again. That's probably it. I think the shared experience is fantastic, Simonetta.
Okay, thank you very much, Joanne, and thanks for your time. Another mentor who would like to go next?
I don't mind going next, Simonetta.
Thank you, Liz.
I found that very, very interesting, actually, and a whole range of startup ideas from really, really just actually still in the person's head, all the way through to very well thought through business model and quite, ready to go. So some of the, and I kind of, as I said, I sit on the other end of it, but I think one of the things that I have been able to do is if I've got contacts in some of the companies that might be able to help you, I have been able to give that thought, and I will make those connections for you. I don't think you can network enough when you're starting out early without obviously defocusing what you're doing. But the couple of things that have really been important to me when I've worked with startups, I think I've said this to a number of the people that we've met, be really clear what your product is or what your offering is. Be super, super crystal clear, unambiguous. This is what I've invented. This is what I'm offering, and this is how I'm going to sell it. Thinking about how you're going to make whatever it is you're going to produce. If you aren't making it yourself, partner up with how are you going to get this made, and think about down chain and up chain of your product and where your value point is. Protection, IP, and also don't overestimate sometimes the value of something. These are quite often high risk areas. So when you're negotiating and you're thinking about your position, think of it from a number of different angles that will give you what you need. So I really think sometimes we can spend a lot of time talking about IP and value and what will I get, when actually, you do need to protect your IP, but even in your own organizations, make sure you're all really working in a trusted environment and that you're going to create value and what that value means to you personally, how you're going to get reward from it. So those are some of the observations, Simonetta, that I had, but I really valued the opportunity to join the network today. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, Liz. And the next mentor?
Yeah, I'm quite happy.
Thank you, Kate.
I agree with what Liz said. I would also add that you look at what problem are you solving, because otherwise you can come up with a product, you can be very British about it, you can wait until that product is absolutely perfect, put it in the marketplace, and they didn't want it. So I think there's an element of channel inner American and have a minimum viable product and get it out there, and then have that feedback loop and come back in. I am also a prolific reader. I've just put some books in the chat for people and a copy to a link so you can get a free copy of one of the books. I think that one's probably helped me the most. I definitely spent about 4 months on the networking, LinkedIn. How do you make you seem credible? Because it's not about the product or the idea. Someone will like you. Network like mad, however silly it feels introducing yourself to people. I've had some calls for an hour and thought, oh my God, what am I going to say? How's this going to work? But actually, there's an element of serendipity comes out of things. There's no wrong answer. Every day is a school day, and just love it. And I have the mentality, the best job is the one I haven't found yet.
Thank you very much, Kate. The next mentor.
I'm happy to go next.
Thank you.
Yeah, I think I agree with a lot of what Kate said. It was really interesting. I think a thing that came up quite a lot was how to manage work-life balance and actually have some kind of survivable time off when you're doing the spin-out journey. And also how to deal with PIs and other academics who may be involved for better or for worse sometimes. And that's actually a kind of mentoring issue that I've found other places as well. So I think that's probably been quite a recurring theme too. But yeah, I think it's been very interesting. I really wish I'd had this 5 years ago.
Oh, that's really nice to hear. Thank you. And the next mentor?
Yeah, I can go next.
Yes, please.
Yeah, so I agree with all the previous mentors and their comments, and I also found it very interesting. What we discussed more or less is that we need to have a clear plan from the beginning with the idea that we have, the applications of the idea and the market, the needs of the market, because sometimes we have ideas that the market doesn't really need our ideas. So we need, before starting, we need to also have a search on the market if there is a need for this idea and the product that we need to offer. The second thing is we all discussed that it is very important to have a support network and mentors and a team to help us. With some of the mentees I talked, I felt they were overwhelmed because they were trying to do everything by themselves. This is very, very tricky. You cannot do everything by yourself. It's better to give some equity and have more people on board that can help you, rather than being stuck on a situation that you cannot act and you cannot do anything. And the final thing that we discussed is we need to act depending on the stage of the career we are. For example, if you are a PhD student or a research fellow and this idea and the Spinout company came via your research work in a lab or whatever, it's best to go for an Innovate UK grant or for a fellowship, an industrial fellowship. If you are by yourself on another stage of your career, then you have to search for support and funding from another source. So yeah, thanks again very much, everyone. And it was lovely to be with you today. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Antonia. And the next mentor?
I can go.
Thank you, Catherine.
Yeah, I really enjoyed talking with everybody and learning about everybody's different projects and ideas. And I think a theme that came through the sessions that I was in was really thinking about taking the time in the first period to really scope what you want to do, how you want to do it, and what resources that you need. And what I feel that there's the idea, and then there's everything about running the company, and it is really valuable to kind of learn and bootstrap and develop those skills, as many of the women are kind of coming more from a research ideas background, and not necessarily as much with the business skills. And there's a lot of resources and support, and the accelerator programs and programs often offered by the research councils now and within their universities is really valuable to tap into, and building that really strong communication with your kind of core team, because it's always pivoting and changing, and so to keep that, it's an ongoing process and conversation. So rather than thinking of it's like one time done, nothing, but just having that looping. But I'm really excited to hear how people's different projects and ideas go forward.
Thank you so much, Catherine. And the next mentor?
Might be my turn now. I really enjoyed all of the chats, and some of the things that I found interesting and sort of that kept on reoccurring is one about mental health, where I think that it's something that while it's talked about now quite a bit, perhaps we don't think the emotional labor that a startup requires. So when people say, oh, it's my baby, I think it's in terms of emotional toll that it takes on you to, I think it's something to consider that it is, and that's on every founder, no matter what kind of company you have, because you have amazing moments that you didn't expect, but also many of the things don't work out. So I think that's something interesting and worthwhile to explore, no matter in which phase of your journey you are. The second one is, I think, especially for spinouts, having this clarity that there are many ways to approach a company, but it is also for startups. One is where you have the idea and you have the innovation, but you decide that management is not something you're interested in because maybe you have other responsibilities, you don't want that. And then you have to hire professional managers or outsource it to a company. Well, whereas the second path is much more traditional. What we think about is you're the founder, it's your idea, it's your innovation, and you do everything in the beginning. And I think having clarity that there are so many ways actually to approach a startup or a spin-out or a company, and that you, depending what you want to get out of it, you are the leader of your journey and of your company's journey. I think, again, it's something that probably worthwhile to explore and to I found it very interesting to chat about and reoccurred in many chats that we had.
Thank you so much, Agne. And another mentor?
I think I might be the final one. I think everything I wanted to say has been captured. I think the one final note which jumped out, kind of was close to my heart is it's easy to underestimate or undervalue yourself at the beginning journey. And one advice I got from one of our advisors early on is to have a really good blueprint of where do you see your business goes down the line, and start to think about how the exit kind of looks like and plan backwards in terms of what value your business is at, and then have these like dilution calculation early on to prevent yourself from giving away too much equity out of desperation in the beginning, which is a mistake that I've done, and I can see that in future series A's it could, or BCs could be a little bit challenging. So I think it's a good exercise to have that, and then it also is helpful for planning that pitch or IP strategy going forward as well, knowing that what kind of how much funding do you need in different stages to grow your business and the milestones attached. I think that's just a good exercise on top of like all the other plannings you have to do.
Thank you so very much. I think, yes, you were the last one, but if there is anybody else that I've missed, no, probably not. Well, I really like to thank the mentors. Fantastic conversation. I can see from the chat that our mentees have really gained so much out of this exercise, and myself and my colleagues are really pleased that has been helpful. I see one comment was saying here, shall we try to continue this network? Now let me explain that. When we approach the mentors, we're all very busy, as you can imagine, as you heard. In fact, we did say we're only asking your time for this event. We don't want to put too many demands on the mentors. So we are not, as a project, we are not going to ask anymore. However, if we want to set up a LinkedIn women in spin-out groups, we could do that. And then whoever wished to join can join. That could be, I don't know whether there is already a women in spin-outs group. Maybe there is out there or not. But if there isn't, we could do that. And then it's up to individuals whether they wish to join. So we will explore that opportunities. But as I say, yes, it would be wonderful, but we don't want to put too many demands. There is also the issue that sometimes when women are underrepresented, they then become, the role models, but being a role model becomes another job. But so anyway, thank you so much for this, and has been really a great event. And good day to everybody. And if you want to find out more about our projects, we circulated the link. Or if you have any ideas, the mentees also particularly, if you have any other ideas that you think of things that could help you, please let us know. So thank you so much to everyone, and thanks to my colleagues as well and the team for making this possible. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Thank you. Bye-bye.
Bye.
Bye. Thank you. Bye.
Bye-bye.
Bye, thank you.